do you feel like you've accomplished what you hoped to, like career wise, when you started out?
Well, I didn't expect anything when I started out. I didn't expect anything at all. It's pretty cool that I've been able to play some cool things and have people really like my music. But honestly, I'm just at the point where I had no expectations starting. I'm back to having absolutely no expectations whatsoever. And I'm appreciating the journey and appreciating the process of the catharsis basically of making the music and putting it out and like painting the cover art and all that kind of stuff. So it's like I'm just in the point of I'm 100% in it for the ride right now. I'm still looking forward to things I can do in the future, but I'm not that's never been my focus and it's not my focus anymore. So I'm happy with what I've been able to do. I'll never be totally happy, period, because that's just the kind of person I am, but it's been fun and that's all I care about is just being myself and enjoying it.
What do you think were like the hardest moments for you to push through to get through to now where you are? It could be like specific or just like maybe an area that you have to keep going through.
It's definitely a self-confidence thing. Is definitely my biggest factor is just keeping myself happy and basically the process of pushing out I have to release something now versus this is a slow process because there's 500 tracks in this song and you know a shitload of other things. Like if people like me and they're not going to just go away because I haven't released something in 2 or 3 months. And that has been a big thing to kind of keep myself focused on, you know, yes, you're supposed to do this, but also, you know, there's people who just release albums and no singles or a one single before an album. And that's been a hard thing to push through. There are specifically, like I said, the personal issues that I went through last year. I can't necessarily talk about them because they involve specific people that are no longer with me
Mhm.
in my team. And but that crushed me. And that has been the absolute 100% hardest thing so far, is to kind of pick myself up off the floor and start fresh. But I'm not a shit talker and I'm not going to talk shit on them. So yeah, that's 100% the hardest thing that I've had to deal with so far.
Okay. What about the flip side of that? What are like the best moments, like the oh shit moments where you kind of like catch yourself and you're like, oh my God, this is happening to me right now.
Yeah. Honestly, anytime I play a show that there's like people are into it, I'm just like, whoa, that's fucking nuts, man. The biggest oh shit moment, one of the biggest. There's been so many, honestly, and I try to write them down. Remember, I'm like the people I've met through it. Like I have this band logo tattooed on my elbow, and I have since I was like 18. Impending Doom, and then now me and the singer of Impending Doom are like good friends. That was a no shit moment whenever I don't know how he discovered me, but anyways, but that I the biggest one I could think of right off the top of my head was when I several years ago before I decided to do all my shit independently. I had this song and I was sending it around like on Submit Hub or something, and everybody declined it. It's my song Savior, and everybody was like, they gave you feedback back then. They're like, this is just weird. There's like it just the mix isn't good, blah blah blah.
Mhm.
Bunch of just the typical thing. Just apps just knows all the way across the board. I was just like, fuck it. So I wasn't even trying to get it to labels. It was just Submit Hub, not come to think of it. And then 2 weeks later, somebody sends me a video of Porter Robinson playing it at a festival. And I'm just like, yeah, fuck y'all. Like I knew it was good. I knew it. And yeah, that was cool. And then he played it the following year when I was just happened to be at Freaky Deaky in Texas and he was playing and he played it while I was watching, which was awesome.
Fuck yeah.
So that was definitely one of the coolest moments that I can think of off the top of my head.
Nice, dude.
That was a big old fuck you. And that's honestly my favorite kind of moments.
Especially after the Submit Hub. God, I hate Submit Hub feedback.
I don't use it at all anymore, but like it can be good.
Yeah.
in some ways, you know, it's just too crowded.
Self-releasing is super hard. And it's something that like personally I'd like to do more of, but it feels very difficult to get your music out there without the help of a label's advertisements or playlists or you know
Mm-hmm.
connections like payola basically depending on what kind of label you're on. Do you have any advice or something like that for people who are trying to take their projects independent? And like, did you wait until you had so many followers? Do you like what? I don't know.
No, honestly, I'm not the best person to give advice on this because I've always done it. Like I've always said, if a label feels right and they come to me, sure. I've never actively sought out a label, uh, ever, and I never will because now, especially at this point, like I've just been doing it for so long. I mean, here's the deal: is the way I look at it as one, you could go with a label that already had a big name that, you know, and then those labels have their own fan bases. There's a lot of labels that don't have that, you know, like well, I don't want to say anything in particular, but like, you know, say there's X label. I
Mm-hmm.
could say Never Say Die now because they're not around anymore or something like that, right? Or, you know, Monster Cat. There's Monster Cat fans. Now, if you come out on Monster Cat, there's going to be a lot of people just because it's on Monster Cat, they're going to listen.
Mm-hmm.
I personally feel like something like that, it's not, I think you're going to have less actual hardcore fans from that because a lot of these people are very casual. They like Monster Cat. They know anything that's going to be out on Monster Cat is going to be, you know, solid. So they always check it out. Now, I may be totally off base on that, but that's how it appears to me. And so I think going independent, it's going to be a fucking long ass road. Don't get me wrong. Like I could have probably been a lot further along if I had done labels, but also who cares? Like it's not about that. It's about putting in an unbelievable amount of hard work and passion for everything to be exactly how I want it to be without having to get approval for this or that or that. Like I don't have to get approval for jack shit anymore, like, at all. Like period, because I own everything. You know, it's awesome. Uh that is my big thing. And also I just don't feel like labels, there are some exceptions, and I will shout out Fixed Records.
That's the industrial label, right?
Cell Dwellers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
James, awesome dude. Fucking and they have some metal bands and stuff. They're just the coolest people. 100% love them. I've worked with them because they asked me to do a couple things with them, and I did it. And they're amazing. I love them. They are truly artist focused people. And you know, there's I just had to give that shout out there because they're awesome. But again, like they understand, like they've asked me for more stuff and they understand when I'm like, honestly, I just want to keep it, you know,
Mhm.
be independent for this. And then I've always said if it comes around, if something feels right, I'll do it. But you know, most of the time nothing feels right, so I don't. And yeah, I think the biggest advice, at least the biggest reason why would be when you're independent, you are showcasing your own stuff. You have a lot more work, but a lot more opportunity for people just to become fans of you
Mhm.
and not of the label you're on. Or I feel like the connection with the listener is a lot more ground level as it goes up in
Yeah.
that way versus, you know, label, you know, casual listeners hearing something on a label than listening to it, even if they're like, hey, that's pretty cool, you know. I feel like, you know, especially with big labels, like I need to stop naming
Monster
label names, but
Cat.
like big labels, you know, so many releases constantly coming out. I feel like it's a lot easier to get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
You do get the attention of that, but also, you know, there is a lot of downsides to it. You know, downsides like if you want to get playlisted, you're going to have a tough time because, you know, you don't have somebody that's in, you know, constant contact with Spotify to be able to, you know, closely pitch things or, you know, all that kind of stuff. That's fine.
Yeah.
Like I've never, not a single one of my original songs has ever been on a playlist, and that's fine. I don't do it for that, you know. It's fine. But the feeling of knowing that I've done so much stuff independently is really cool. And honestly, that's what means the most to me at the end of the day.
It's impressive, honestly.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's a difficult thing to do, honestly.
Spotify just keeps making it harder and harder too.
Yeah.
It's harder and harder to get people to actually listen to you on Spotify because of all the changes they've made. It is what it is. It's always going to keep changing. It's changed so much from when I started, even.
Yeah, I mean, SoundCloud's dead for one.
SoundCloud apparently, died a year after I started. Like, people still go on SoundCloud to find. I go on there to find underground shit when I need something. Like, if I have a gap in one of my sets that I don't have, one of my songs doesn't feel right for, I'll go on SoundCloud and just stumble around. And I've always find good stuff on there. I like SoundCloud a lot more, but also Spotify is its own thing. Like, I like Spotify. I use Spotify. I'm not even. I could talk shit on Spotify all day long, but like, I use it. I love it. I use it for running.
Mm-hmm.
Use it all the time. But for finding stuff that's really off the beaten path, SoundCloud is just unbeatable.
Yeah, the remixes and bootlegs and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Shitload of remixes on there that I can't do anything with. So they go on there, and that's where they live. And I love that about SoundCloud.
Mm-hmm. Unless somebody flags you and your account gets demonetized.
Well,
Not that I would know anything about that.
on them, and also anytime I've ever done a remix, like a bootleg, it is unrecognizable from the original. So I've never gotten flagged
Good.
for a remix, but it's first time for everything, I guess.
Fair enough. So I wanted to ask you about your brand. So I went back through your whole discography and I was like, oh my God, this dude's had his like same logo, like same visual identity since day one, or at least, internet facing day one.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, did you go into that with like marketability minded? Were you like, I want to put together something like tight and keep it like this? Or is it just, I like this, I'm gonna get this done, and then it's just stayed the same because like that's what you fuck with?
A little bit of both. It's the logo stayed the same because that's what I wanted when I started. I wanted a good logo a good name, good logo that could just works, that is recognizable. It's fine. The mark did not that was part of the original plan, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted yet. So I had to think about it. So like a year after I started, the same guy who did the logo, love you, Don. He did the mark, and I told him what I was looking for, and he just fucking destroyed it. And then that's when there is no, I'm not going to rebrand the logo, and unless something happens.
Indie pop record,
What?
the indie pop phase,
Yeah,
20 years into your career.
Well, that's the thing is, I've definitely kept, and the mark, it just works so well for so many things, and it's a great tattoo logo. It just looks cool, looks eerie, it looks kind of ominous, but also it's just cool. And I've always loved dead trees, and that yeah. But the visual things has evolved, like the art has evolved a lot. And originally it was just me, like some old digital photography stuff I had done was like the first wave, and then finding an artist I worked with for like 2 years, 2.5, 3 years. I just loved the style she did. And then I went to painting my own. I just randomly started painting like last year, and I realized I really liked it. And so the consumed, this next one, they're all going to be part of a series and the album that I've all painted. And I would like to keep with that. And it'll probably evolve again because, it's just freshening up, finding new ways to get across the point I want, and for it to be personal and authentic. I think that right now the best way for me to do that is to paint the cover art myself, but it just has kind of evolved over time. So to answer your question, some of it has been on the fly, but the visual identity of the brands and the themes, absolutely, since day one has been the plan.
Mhm.
I'm just finding new ways to accomplish that now.
Nice. So like like obviously do music and visuals. I really like that you're painting. I'm a big fan of various painters, especially like surrealism and things like that. I have a bunch of like Basquiat and Dali and this Polish dude that I don't know how to say his name. And
This is lost.
yeah, like with the fucked.
The Nightmare Artist, dude.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's my favorite, like absolute favorite, hands down.
It's incredible. Yeah,
Uh, yeah,
something like that. Something like
I
that.
know exactly the Polish dude. Yep, percent. That stuff is what inspired me. My shit looks nothing like that, but he is my favorite artist, hands down.
Yeah, dude, it's just incredible.
Unbelievable.
So it's cool to see you doing that. I love when artists are like interdisciplinary and like getting their message across in different forms. Do you reckon you'd ever like move into video? This kind of is like a two-parter, actually. I
Uh,
was wondering if you'd ever like want to move your storytelling into like doing like full-length music videos. Maybe you have. I didn't check.
no, I have done a few. I do enjoy them. I enjoy them a lot. And so basically, for the moment, that once I have actual money, like if I have any money, I can go. I have endless video ideas. But for the moment, budgetarily speaking, because I would rather do work with an artist that I know can get a really cool concept digitally, like the one for Consumed is really cool, but the one for No Salvation is going to be shit, very story driven kind of thing. But I definitely, for now, it's going to be that. It's going to be the built in Unreal kind of stuff. That is basically a music slash lyric video, but has a very laid out story that goes along with the song. And I can do some video stuff myself. Like a lot of the stuff that I have put out on YouTube and a lot of that stuff I've made myself. I just don't love it.
Mm,
I just don't really like it. I don't like sitting there. I like tinkering with song stuff, but when it comes to video, 3D models and shit, it just does not interest me. I can do it if I have to do it, but I have to look up everything. Like, how do I do this?
mhm.
I will figure it out. Believe me, I'll figure it out. But that's going to take a shitload of time away from me doing what I actually love, which is doing the music and coming up with the concepts of everything. So, yeah, I've done some music videos, and I want to hold off on that until I can make a proper full music video that can actually fully get the concepts I want across without worrying about money.
Yeah,
So all the ones we've done before have been on literally zero budget,
yeah.
and with some of them turned out pretty fucking cool, but not cool enough.
Yeah, this is the struggle of perfectionism, I suppose. On the flip side of that, with like some of the other videos you've done, with your green screen or like dyeing your bathtub black, and I just wanted to bring it up because compared to your visual aspect, like your music, the sound of your music, the lyrical content of your music, it's kind of like a 180. It's like playing Britney Spears in the middle of a set. It's like really goofy and lighthearted. And I mean, it works because it's just like everything else. It's genuine and it feels genuine. But I wonder, like, was that much of a struggle when you were like, you know what, I have this idea for a video, but it's totally off brand? Or did that even cross your mind?
Oh, absolutely, it did. But honestly, that's another going back to it. That's why I don't get bored necessarily with what I do, is because nothing can be totally dark. Nothing is 100% dark 100% of the time in their personal lives. Maybe they have a drink and joke around and they laugh sometimes. They don't, but I do. So like I want to show, basically, when you keep harping on the darkness, and there's some artists out there, that some very big artists that are just all about 100% everything is so evil. I'm so evil all the time. It's stupid. It's corny because it's not true. Like, no, dude, you're wearing you're wearing a costume, you're wearing a mask, you're wearing this, you're wearing that. It's like, dude, you're a normal person.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, if you don't want to show the humanity, that's fine, but I do, because I don't pretend to be something I'm not. Not saying that whoever I was talking about, whoever they may be, isn't like, that's not what they want to do. But for me, I want to be authentic. And so that shows all aspects of who I am as a person. Like, I don't put on any fronts at all for the internet because I don't like seeing that. I love it when I can see my favorite artist doing something goofy and somebody catches it on camera,
Mm-hmm.
And so why not just get ahead of the curve there and just, I liked being goofy. I'm a pretty goofy person a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm stupid. I have a stupid sense of humor, and I fully embrace that. So like, why not? Like, I feel like sometimes I could be pretty funny, and if I have a good idea, I'm going to do it, even if it doesn't make any sense. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, I just did it. I just went for it, and I still a thing because I just don't care. If I have to be able to express everything I want to express at all times, and if I can't do that, then I'm going to quit. So till then, I'm going to keep doing whatever the fuck I want.
We love to see it.
That's it. Yeah. Just authenticity. That's my number one thing until the end of time, or the end of Swarm's time. I will be 100% authentic.
Fucking awesome.